Hi, it's a laughing here. End of the year is that moment when you look back and think about how that year went, what you enjoyed, what surprised you, and what is worth celebrating. And this list is exactly that. A list of top 10 games I played this year and why you should check them out too. Starting off with a game that took me by surprise. Tiny Glade is all about creating this perfect castle that you want and just chill out. Enjoy the process, make something amazing and be proud of that. And what that game sets out to achieve, it so does. It is relaxing, it is beautiful, and it is charming. The mechanics for building your castle are fun, surprisingly deep, and it is a blast to figure them out as you go. If you are looking for that cozy game to play and relax, this one is that. You will not regret trying it out. In number 9 we have Cataclismo, a tower defense game with a very interesting story, great voice acting and overall pretty good gameplay. I was drawn into this one because of the art style, graphics and because I am a sucker for building those castles, what can I say. But the rest of the game did hold my attention and positively surprised me. I would change one or two things, but the game is in early access and already has a ton of content for you to enjoy. And I do believe that in the future it will turn out to be one of the best of its kind. Switching things a little bit and going away from those building games, in number 8 we have Witchfire, a roguelike FPS that is still in early access but you should definitely check it out. Witchfire comes from some of the people who made the Painkiller game, and it shows. It is a very good FPS game, the shooting feels amazing, the guns are great, and you have magic on top of that too. The dark fantasy setting is also something worth pointing out. There is a lot of FPS roguelikes out there, but not with an atmosphere like Witchfire, and certainly not as good as an FPS as this one. Go play it, slay some demons. Coming in at number 7, probably the most crazy game on this list, Tactical Breach Wizards. So imagine, magic is a normal thing in our world. What does it bring? A necromancer doctor that has to kill you before she can heal you, and a warlock that is responsible for handing out traffic tickets. Also, a spell that is just a load of phantom skeletons driving a car with the intent of hitting you. Add some tactical battles similar to Into the Breach, lots of crazy humor, and you have this one. And honestly, just for the reason of how many times this game made me laugh, it deserves a place on the list. Age of Darkness is an old friend from early access days that is coming to a full release and I could not be more happy. It is a tower defense game very similar to There Are Billions, just with some improvements here and there, in my opinion, and a nice dark fantasy setting. I enjoyed the heck out of this one. It is challenging, but not too much, it is addictive, it is fun, you will stay late and play this one if you give it a chance. It is just a very good game overall, and if you enjoy those types of titles, and even if you don't, I think you're gonna like this one. We are getting closer and closer to the top, but for now, we have no rest for the wicked. It is an action RPG that feels like a hack and slash, but plays much more like a Souls-like title. And man, it does work very well. It shouldn't, with so many different elements from different games, but yet, it does. And it creates an amazing title that is worth playing right now despite being in early access. Gameplay is great, just great, and you have a dark, interesting story to hook you in, interesting characters, and it also all looks and sounds very good too. This one could be a Game of the Year contender, that is when it goes 1.0. Check it out and have fun. The worst place on the list, just behind the Medal Zone, Songs of Conquest. Do you remember that feeling you had when you played Heroes of Might and Magic as a kid? The fun you had with Heroes 3. I do. I played a ton of that game, and I still remember the map layouts and the stories. And yet, despite trying, not a single title was able to make me feel that again. They just lacked that magic, you know? Until Songs of Conquest. which very much takes inspiration from heroes, but it is not afraid to improve upon it, make their own thing. And man, this game is just great, and I know I will be playing it for a long time to come. It is difficult for me to put in words how good this game made me feel, and how nice it was to play a game like this once again, and lose way too much sleep because of it too. The game is out, it is a full release, go play it, thank me later. And now we have our bronze medalist this year, Mana Lords. By now you may be aware that I do like those building games. My daily job is a little bit stressful, so they are a great way for me to deal with that, relax a little bit. And Mana Lords is the best building game that I played in 2024, no questions asked. The game looks amazing, the attention to details in buildings, mechanics, everything just screams quality. Despite a ton of games in this genre, Mana Lords stands out, feels different, and you know that there isn't really another game like it out there. This is the perfect medieval building game, or to be precise, it will be when it leaves early access. Is it worth now? Yes it is. You still can build amazing settlements, and there is just one mechanic that I love and that I need to talk about. So, you know how in every single building game, the only real challenge is the early game. And that if you have a good base, a good setup, later on it's just going through the motions. And at some point you usually just get bored and start over. Here you are creating several villages, you are populating a region. And while your main settlement can be quite developed, you still are trying to settle up with some smaller regions, some smaller villages, and you really play the early game, the middle, and the late game at the same time at some point. In my opinion, the best building game this year for sure. Okay, I need to admit something. I didn't love Hades 2 at the beginning. I didn't like the gameplay changes, I wanted my dash spamming to come back to me, I just missed it. And then I played a few hours more, I learned some stuff, I realized that it is a different game. And I loved it. I loved the fact that they didn't just made another one, that they actually changed some things, took a risk. And at the same time, they just gave us more Hades. More options, more combinations, more gods, more choices, and still with the same level of quality, beauty and humor. I have been following developers of Hades like a fanboy for years now, since I played Transistor and loved it. And let me tell you, this is a great game studio that makes great games with heart and passion. Games that are like precious memories in my head. Experiences that I'm glad that I had the chance to experience. And Hades 2 is no exception. Number 1. Drova, Forsaken Kin. I thought it would be hard for me to choose number 1. But I didn't want to do one of those "the order is random, do not be mad at me" kinds of lists. This is my list. And also, I knew exactly what I wanted to put in the first place. So why Drova? First of all, if you didn't hear about it, it is an RPG title heavily inspired by the Gothic series. It has challenging combat, meaningful choices, camps you can join, nice story and interesting characters too. The world in Drova has its own life. It will go on without you. You do not feel like everything is about you. You are a part of this world, but not the most important one. Well, sort of. You will travel this world and get your ass kicked. You will meet some morons who will try to hurt you, and you will find some people who will help you just because of who they are, what type of a character they are. And you will find some people who will not survive if you do not help them too. And through your choices, the world around you will change. And not to spoiler things, all of your choices, even those that you do not think are choices even, they will all matter. And I cannot give you an example without spoiling it, so I will not, but trust me, when it was revealed, I was kinda amazed. With all those deep RPG mechanics, this game will make you smile, will make you cry, will make you mad at yourself for the choices you made. because you were thinking it was just one of those normal games where you do not need to burden yourself with thinking about your actions and what they bring, and because the quest told you to do it, right? But you know what? You didn't have to do that quest. Nobody forced you. You could just leave it be. And the fact that sometimes that is the right choice in this game is just amazing. Also, it plays great, it sounds okay, although I wish it had some voice acting, and it has this nice retro style which makes this a timeless gem for me. And for the love of God, how this is not getting some rewards for being an amazing RPG is just beyond me. On the last note, I didn't finish a lot of games this year. With work, YouTube and stuff, I could not make the time. But I did found time for Drovo. And it will be an experience I am so glad to have this year. Go play it now. So, this is the list. Tell me if you agree. Tell me what you would put on your list. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, leave a subscription. It helps a lot and I appreciate it very much. It allows me to grow this channel. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching and have a good day. Bye.